The German automaker Audi is set to enter the Formula One grid next season, has revealed a concept livery for their R26 car, led by former Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto. Audi F1 will take Sauber F1's spot on the Formula One grid. Japanese baseball superstar Shohei Ohtani has claimed his fourth Major League MVP award on the back of his second successive World Series win with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Of the 206 participating players, only 16 remain in the competition for the 2025 Chess World Cup title, with 3 spots in next year's candidates tournament up for grabs. Among the big upsets in the final group stage were India's Pragnananga and the German duo of Michael Bluebaum and Vincent Kaymer. Indian ace Jasprit Bumrah grabbed 5 wickets in a scintillating first innings play, restricting visitors from South Africa to a score of 159 in the first test in Calcutta. Portuguese captain Cristiano Ronaldo was set off at the hour mark against Ireland, with the former European champions losing 2-0 to a first-half brace by Troy Parrott. Carlos Alcaraz secured the year-end world #1 ranking by defeating Lorenzo Musetti 6-4, 6-1 at the ATP Finals in Turin, surpassing Jannik Sinner in the standings. Alcaraz, who claimed 2 Grand Slams this season, will maintain his top position in Monday's rankings. The New England Patriots matched their longest winning run since the Tom Brady era as they beat AFC East rivals the New York Jets 27-14 in the NFL. Rookie Travion Henderson led the way with 3 touchdowns as the Patriots claimed an 8th straight win for the first time since legendary quarterback Brady's final season with the team in 2019. Defending champion Luke Littler maintained his hopes of becoming world #1 with a dominant win against Vessel Nijman in the last of 16 of the Grand Slam of darts, as 3-time world champion Michael van Gerwen was knocked out. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off for the first time in his international career as Portugal suffered a 2-0 shock defeat to the Republic of Ireland at Dublin's Aviva Stadium. Troy Parrott scored twice in the first half to give the home side the lead, and Portugal's hopes of securing World Cup qualification with a game to spare were dashed. Ronaldo was initially shown a yellow card for an elbow on Dara O'Shea, but VAR intervention upgraded it to a red, marking his first dismissal in 226 appearances for Portugal. The defeat leaves Ireland with renewed hopes of qualifying, while Portugal now will need to wait to confirm their spot at next year's finals. Elsewhere, France saw off Ukraine 4-0 thanks to a brilliant brace by Real Madrid talisman Kylian Mbappe to seal their spot in the 2026 World Cup finals. In Africa, Nigeria overcame a spirited Gabon side 4-1, with ace striker Victor Osimhen scoring a brace in extra time to send the Super Eagles to the World Cup finals. The 2026 World Cup, being hosted jointly by the United States, Canada and Mexico, is the first to feature an expanded 36-team format, which has given minnows like Cape Verde and Uzbekistan a shot at football's grandest prize. Joining us now to discuss the upcoming tournament is Mr. Ranjit Bajaj, the director of the Minerva Football Academy and the Minerva Punjab Football Club. Thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. It's a pleasure to have you here on NewsX World. What do you, first of all, what do you make of Cristiano Ronaldo's first dismissal in his storied international career? Was it a controversial decision, initially deemed a yellow card offensive, but turned over by VAR for a straight red? With Portugal likely to qualify, this would mean Ronaldo can miss the first game of Portugal's campaign in next year's World Cup finals.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. And starting off with the now a legend, Ronaldo. See, VAR goes. Reason of having VAR is having an actual replay, and the referee can see it. If it was a normal match where the VAR wasn't there, this was just a yellow card offense because that's what the referee gave. Whereas when the referee went and replays and they saw, see, the only problem with VAR is it shows that moment which the referee wants to see. As you could see, and I'm not a Ronaldo fan saying this is more like a reaction. When you do that with an elbow, it's a reaction, it's a provocation, and you need to go back and see it. But as long at the end of the day, there's no excuse. It was a red card. And unfortunately, that means he's not only going to miss out on the next match, which is against Armenia, but even the match, which is going to be the first match of the World Cup, which is definitely going to be, like he says, his last World Cup. So it's a huge blow, and really hope they don't slip up and without him, because the way they started playing the moment they lost him, the body language seemed that they had already lost the match.
Yeah, and of course, it's just 8 months to go until the World Cup. But who do you see as a favourite, and who do you see as a dark horse in the upcoming tournament?
The usual suspects. I would always count out France because they've got great depth. But other than France, you've got Brazil because of the kind of players they always will have. And also in dark horses, thanks for asking that, because I'm really looking forward to watching Morocco play, because they've been doing great in the junior tournaments and they've been the Under 20 World Cup, and also with Japan, because they've got this finally great generation coming up where they are going and getting these shock results, and which are not shock anymore when they go and beat these European clubs. Now it's not one-offs, it's every second match. So I would love to see how far they go this time. Yeah,
it's going to be fascinating. And what do you make of the likes of Cape Verde, Jordan, Uzbekistan and Qatar, who have already qualified for the tournament? Some of these teams are rated even lower than India, which seems to be failing in its bid to take its football to the next level.
That's a question which really hurts, because not only are they smaller in every other size, in population, in economic power, but that just shows the power of football. You don't need to be a rich nation. You don't need to be huge populations. As long as you've got the processes right, you will make it. And because end of the day, it's not your population playing, it's 11 men, 11 of your best men and women, whatever, playing. So Cape Verde with a population of 600,000. Before that, Iceland did it with 300,000 in the last World Cup. And by the way, Suriname, who in the last match, I don't know if people have heard of this, if they win the last match, they qualify for the World Cup, becoming the lowest ranked nation at 126th to ever qualify for a World Cup, and with a population of 50,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Do stay with us, Ranjit, as we move on to our next story. India's top flight of football, the Super Indian League, was supposed to kick off the 2025 to 2026 season in September. This was then postponed owing to licensing issues, with the current license holder for the FSDL group choosing not to renew their 10-year deal with the All India Football Federation. This has led to a stagnation in India's football setup, with clubs and players left adrift as the global game moves past them. India had momentum and hope going into the World Cup qualifiers, having finished third in the Central Asian Football Association Nations Cup of 2025, but now crashed out following a 5-game winless run featuring 2 draws and 3 losses against the likes of Qatar, Kuwait and Afghanistan. Following this, India were drawn against Singapore, Hong Kong and Bangladesh. All three sides ranked lower than India. And yet, the Blue Tigers failed to even win a single game. To discuss this and all of its depth, once again joining us is Ranjit Bajaj. Now, Ranjit, you've been heavily involved with Indian football for many years now. You're a recognisable face in the football circles of the country. What do you make of Indians' football's current situation? I do apologise. I think you're muted. Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So, I think it's a Shakespearean tragedy. It's the tragedy of those proportions because with the kind of talent we have, it's a very big shame that the administrators are not able to get their act right. For example, like we were just talking in the past segment with countries like Cape Verde qualifying, Iceland qualifying before that, Uzbekistan doing it, and then Jordan doing it, UAE doing it. There's no reason why we can't do it because it's not. So the whole point is with incompetence of the people who are running the federation, unfortunately, because I think it's all power games. And while doing that, they forget that there's complete stagnation, and there are people whose livelihood depends on it. It's not only the players. People forget about the ecosystem, about the massage therapists, about the groundsmen, about the kitmen, about the gardeners who are making sure the ground and the pitch is working, the media managers. So everybody is waiting for this to happen. It's not just a game. It's not just a tournament. It's people's life. So when you need to be actually thinking about this, now I think the way out is what the clubs have come up with, that if there's no bidder, that we, instead of rather not having a season, we all clubs come together as a consortium, and that's what they're doing, hopefully going to the court and saying that we are willing to pay the production money for getting it on TV and making sure that this is properly marketed. And I think that's the best way to go about it because the biggest stakeholders are the clubs.
Yeah, indeed. And tell us a bit more about your success with the Minerva Football Academy. Were you where you are going right and where is Indian football going wrong? Because by the looks of it, your academy and Indian football seem to be on the completely opposite trajectories to each other.
Unfortunately, it's very true. I wish I could have, because see, India is not my, is not competition, it's my India. And I wish both the trajectories were the same. But you put it exactly right. We've been going and winning the World Youth Cup in Sweden. We've done it twice. We won the biggest international cup in Dana Cup in Denmark, and we've done it in Norway, winning the Norway Cup. Then making sure that we produce more internationals for India than all of the clubs and academies in India put together on one side. I would just say it's not genius. It's not rocket science. It's processes, and it's just following processes and the best practices followed throughout the world. If countries like Cape Verde can do it, trust me, we can do it too. And it's just about getting your processes right. Because what you see on the football field is the result of what's been happening before that for 10 years. And if you don't get those 10 years right, and you keep on pumping into the top, you make it an opposite triangle. You need to have a pyramid system, which is not existent in India anymore because the grassroots is not where the focus is. We focus on why we do well. And that's why we're known as the factory, because we churn out players not because we are good, because processes are followed. And when processes are followed, you will get results.
Yeah, and what can you tell us about the clubs in the Indian Super League? What's the situation and what can we expect in the coming days?
Unfortunately, every day there's a wait. Another club ceases operations and puts salaries on hold. So today it was Kerala Blasters. Before that, it was Mohun Bagan. It was Orissa FC. It was Chennai. And I mean, everyone's doing it one by one because they don't know when the season is going to start. If it's going to start, what's going to happen? And I can imagine me being a club owner, why they're doing it, because unless and until you know what you're going to be training for when the start season is, you can't train and you can't even tell your sponsors. I mean, the first thing your sponsors want to know is where is the season, when is this going to start, what channel is going to be shown on. This total darkness all over. So the clubs are waiting with bated breath, and hopefully we get a solution soon, because it's already going to be December. That means one season, half season in football, you have 2 seasons, half season is going to finish. So you're going to have the next transfer season January. That means, and there would have been no football in the entire season from June onwards till now. So we are at a very, very pivotal stage in Indian football. We can go both ways. Either we can go into another 10 years of darkness, or if we get it right now and we don't make the same mistakes, we have a bright future.
Yes, Ranjit Bajaj, thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World. It's a pleasure to get your insight on that interesting topic. We now move on and we move to some other sports, and India's archers put on a stellar show at the Asian Archery Championship in Dhaka with Dheeraj Bomewata and Ankita Bakart leading the charge by winning individual golds in recurve events. The duo had impressed at Paris 2024, finishing 4th in the mixed team recurve event, and now turned promise into gold. India won 5 medals in the recurve alone, including the men's team crown. In the men's individual final, Dheeraj defeated compatriot Rahul 6-2, while Rahul took silver on the women's side. Ankita stunned Paris 2024 silver medalists Nam Soo Hyun on South Korea 7-3 to claim gold. She had beaten top seed Jang Min-hee and 4-time Olympian Deepika Kumari in a semi-final shoot-off. Sangeeta then beat Deepika in another shoot-off to secure bronze, and the men's team, comprising of Antanu Das, Dheeraj and Rahul, edged South Korea in a shoot-off after a 4-4 tie to claim gold. Mixed team bronze eluded India as Anshika Kumari and Yashdeep Boj fell 6-0 to South Korea. Overall, India finished with 10 medals, 6 gold, 3 silver and 1 bronze. In compound archery, Jyothi Surikami Venem led India's 5-medal haul, including both and individual team golds, plus silver in the men's team event. Now, Shohei Ohtani has been unanimously named the National League MVP for the 2025 season, as announced by the Baseball Writers Association of America. The Dodgers' two-way star beat runner-up Carl Schwarberger of the Phils, and third-place finisher Juan Soto of the Mets to claim his 4th career MVP and his 2nd consecutive award with Los Angeles. Ohtani becomes the first player in the history of the Big Four North American professional sports leagues, the MLB, NBA, NFL, and NHL, to win an MVP and championship in each of his first 2 seasons with a team, according to OptaStats. The unanimous vote underscores Ohtani's continued impact as a two-way player, contributing both as a pitcher and a hitter throughout the Dodgers championship season. Carlos Alcaraz has capped off the 2025 season in style, securing the year-ending #1 ranking after defeating Lorenzo Musetti at the ATP Finals this time. And it marks the 2nd time in his career that Alcaraz has finished the year at the top of men's tennis. The Spaniard's victory came after a tight race with Jannik Sinner. Alcaraz had defeated Sinner in the US Open final in September, but Sinner pushed back strongly by winning the China Open, Vienna Open and Paris Masters. This meant Alcaraz needed to win all 3 group stage matches at the ATP Finals to guarantee the top spot. At 22, Alcaraz rose to the occasion, playing some of his best tennis to beat Musetti 6-4, 6-1 in a dominant performance. With this, he became the 2nd player in history to end the year as world #1 consecutive seasons before turning 23, a milestone even legends like Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic did not achieve at the same age. Alcaraz's remarkable consistency and resilience have cemented his place among the elite in men's tennis, setting the stage for another exciting season ahead. This is what the Spanish sensation had to say upon winning his match at the ATP Finals.
The match was really important for me. Playing for the number one and the number one. So it was an easy at the beginning with the nerves. I knew that I was going to play almost the first set with those nerves, which I had to be focused on that. I tried to handle that pressure, that nerves, the best I could. So I'm just really happy with the match, with the level that I played today, and obviously to be able to end the year as a number one.
Well, that is all that we have time for this hour. Do keep following NewsX World for more updates.